across from the main plant. Jackson Catnapper, family owned and operated in Cleveland since 1933. 961-7239.
No dealers allowed.
When you buy or sell or pawn,
you can't go wrong at U.S. Money Shops.
When money's tight, you'll be alright.
'Cause relief's inside at U.S. Money Shops.
Hey, Glenn here from U.S. Money Shops. If you're looking for extra cash, whether it's $50, $500, or even $50,000, then U.S. Money Shops just may be the place for you. We're a pawn shop like no other. Buy, sell, pawn, we do it all.
Pawn with us,
we'll earn your trust.
sell to us without any fuss. Buy from us.
You can rely on us.
U.S. Money Shops offers the best selection of electronics, tools, firearms, jewelry, and more. You name it, we got it. So when you need cash or want a deal, visit U.S. Money Shops, the best pawn shop in town. And remember, we cash all checks and buy gift cards. Now with several locations to serve you. Visit U.S. Money Shops today for the best deal around.
Buy or sell or pawn today. The better way at U.S. Money Shops.
Visit usmoneyshops.com for the store nearest you.
From checking to cash, they're coming to town. Mighty Clydesdales of world renown. Such a rare sight, all black and white. Big excitement all around.
Check Into Cash, your one-stop money shop, introduces the Cashdales, our beautiful Clydesdale horses now touring the United States, representing our company heritage, appearing in parades, events, and visiting Check Into Cash locations.
2,000 pounds marching around, every hoofbeat shaking the ground. Tall as the sky, 18 hands high, they're gentle giants, so don't be shy.
Check Into Cash, now celebrating 20 years, is proud to present the beautiful Clydesdale horses. Visit cashdales.com for the upcoming schedule and more information.
Check Into Cash, they're on their way. The mighty Clydesdales will make your day.
And we're back. You're
Like
listening
mighty
to Lights, Camera,
Clydesdales.
Cleveland. Those are your new Clydesdales?
I'm a mighty Clydesdale.
You're mighty something.
Are you mighty all the way? Are you
I'm-
super mighty?
I'm just saying.
Are you the mightiest?
I am for.
James Baxter.
I am 4 hooves of awesomeness.
These headphones are super tight on my head today.
I think your head has gotten big.
I think that's probably true. I'm not 100% certain, but it seems likely.
I was actually told by one of our listeners that we need to start writing advertisement on the back of your head, Rob.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
We could
like
sell that ad
yeah.
space.
That's a good idea, actually.
I'm just,
Get yourself a
Surfs
little
up
little
right
Lassiter's emblem on the back.
Yeah, Zach at Lassiter's. Hey, Lassiter's Brittany, pass this one on to your boss man. This for rent.
There you go. maybe we need to just start with
Right here.
a sticker that says for rent to put
This
on the
for
back of your
rent.
head.
Welcome to Lights, Camera, Cleveland. It's Monday night on Whoop FM. We're here to talk about movies.
Yay.
I'm the Hollywood Slinky. Joining me, as always, is my very masculine companion, Rob Alderman.
I was waiting for
She
that
was
to come to.
bracing.
Yeah, I was.
What?
She was bracing herself.
Sitting next to me, AMC Mike, and sitting next to her is, of course, the Ken Dog.
What up?
Hello.
Are you
The
ready?
end.
I'm ready.
You ready to pick a topic?
I am.
You want to pick it?
Yeah.
Slinky, pick a topic. Ready, go.
Miley Cyrus.
Hey-oh! That's the topic.
Should I?
Do we need to actually talk?
I evidently don't have to explain.
That's that's just the topic.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, last night was the MTV Video Music Awards, the one time a year that MTV plays video
They
music.
pretend that they care about music.
And last night, everybody thought the big news was going to be the 1 minute and 42 second long In Sync reunion in the middle of the 12-minute
And it
Justin
should have been.
Timberlake performance. But instead,
Yeah, everybody was like, Timberlake played for like an hour, but In Sync only played for 30 seconds.
But instead, what
Like
everyone was,
life.
that's true. But instead, what everybody was talking about was Miley Cyrus and her performance, in which she, I don't even.
Unspeakable.
It wasn't. I don't even know what to call what she did. There was.
I know what to call it.
There
Yeah,
was.
well, we're on
There was.
PG here.
There was twerking involved.
There was, because that's her thing now. It's like a thing.
And there was some.
And she's made it her thing.
There was some sort of Gene Simmons sticking my tongue out for no reason thing. That
There was a
kept
lot
occurring.
of really weird fake air guitar thing.
And then at one point she got, and I will be careful so you guys don't have to panic, but at one point she got one of those giant foam
Foam fingers.
sports fingers, the I'm number one fingers.
And did
Yeah.
And she,
unspeakable.
That team was number one.
Somebody was.
Number one.
it was
Number one.
something.
Yeah. I didn't know because, of course, I gave up on television a long time ago. And number two, no way in my wildest dreams would I have thought that MTV was still doing anything with music videos at all.
Or with Miley Cyrus.
I could have understood like a MTV's reality shows of the year awards or
Right,
something like
right.
that. But I actually had no idea the VMAs were still going on.
Yeah. So,
But I saw the videos on
Yeah.
the interwebs, and it started like with her coming out of this weird alien ship, surrounded by funny little teddy bears.
and she was wearing this skimpy teddy bear bikini thing.
But then it went away.
That at one point she ripped off seductively.
Except for by seductively,
I don't think it
you
was.
mean except
I think it was
seductively you
awkwardly.
mean awkwardly and gross.
Yeah. The whole thing, it looked like, Rob and I talked about this a little bit earlier before we were on the air. There were elements of, if you guys remember it back in the 80s when Madonna went through her look at me, I'm being raunchy phase. She would do these like extravagant, over the top, raunchy dance things.
Yeah,
and
wear crazy outfits.
And everyone would be like, oh my gosh, I'm so offended. But at some level, there was still a level of over-the-top sexiness to it.
Or
you know?
talent.
And it might not have been for everyone, but it was there. But what Miley Cyrus did last night was
made an entire nation cringe.
it wasn't at all attractive
No.
to anyone.
No.
It was farcical. It looked like not like a Miley Cyrus performance at the VMAs, but rather it looked like Saturday Night Live's presentation of Vanessa Bayer doing her Miley Cyrus impression
right.
Yeah.
of Miley Cyrus.
Hey
from
y'all,
the VMAs.
I'm gonna try to grow up, y'all, and I'm gonna be sexy, y'all.
It's gonna be pretty cool.
It's gonna be pretty cool.
Like, the whole time seeing the video today, I was looking at the thing. I was like, whoa. Now, most of the videos that were on were not the actual video. Like, I haven't seen the video. They were like people that freaked out when it started and started filming it with their phone.
Right.
You know, so
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, I don't know.
There's all these priceless images too of like Will Smith and his family like staring like, what the heck?
Yeah, everything is crazy looking. But like the whole time I was watching it, I was thinking, this is so bad. Surely Billy Ray Cyrus comes out and plays Achy Breaky Heart at
Like,
the end of this.
you're
it's
waiting
got to
for
be comedy. It
there's
has
a punchline.
Like you were waiting for her to like hold up like to Sinead O'Connor,
Would you?
right? For her to
Yeah,
like all of a sudden hold up a picture of the Pope and rip it in half and be like, for the children,
Or all of the
something like
or
that.
all of the stuffed animal bears suddenly take their masks off and it's an NSYNC reunion.
Oh, see, I could have.
Anything but what it actually
Yeah.
was.
You know,
And I didn't think it was possible for that Blurred Lines song to get any more controversial. Like, I thought that thing was doing just fine on its own.
well, and that's what got me. I was sitting there, and
Hey,
you know,
hey, hey.
it started coming up.
Hey,
What's
hey,
the
hey.
deal with Miley Cyrus? What's it? So finally, I clicked a link. When I saw Will Smith and his children horrified, I was like, well, I got to see that. You know what I mean? And so
Jada Pinkett Smith can't even look at that
And
picture.
so-
She's like turned away. She's like almost in the
Poor
lap of the
thing.
person next
My,
to her.
my favorite is the kid, Will Smith's kid. What is Jaden? Is it Jaden? Is that his?
Yeah, he's like, what?
He's going. She's in my wheelhouse, but no.
not anymore.
No.
And so I watched it,
The achy heart has broken.
and the things that became apparent to me were one,
There was no parenting.
correct. I felt bad and confused for Billy Ray Cyrus. I was like, well, you obviously made poor choices. That's your daughter. But as I continued to watch it, it wasn't just, and I watched the production. I watched the
You actually saw it on TV?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it on the internet.
I think it was on the Blaze that I caught it.
Yeah.
But when they did crowd shots, there were people there who literally, like, I want to say this guy's Drake. Okay, that's a guy.
Sure.
And I'm not
That's
sure.
a guy. Okay, that's a guy.
Well, he's a hip hop guy. I'm not sure
okay,
that's
okay,
who it
okay.
was. But he literally is like scrolling his phone, seemingly nervous. You know how
he doesn't want to be seen watching.
Right.
He didn't even want to be caught in a PR nightmare watching this performance.
That's right. There were people there who seemed ashamed, and rightly so, I think. But the next thing that I got to thinking about, it was a montage. It went from her to Robin Thicke to 2 Chainz.
Yeah, and what was Robin Thicke doing there?
Well,
so hasn't he done enough?
He was wearing the outfit from Beetlejuice.
Right, the Beetlejuice outfit.
Okay.
Now I've got a question, and this is a serious question. Is Robin Thicke out of the closet?
He's married to his high school sweetheart, so yeah.
Okay. What's his name?
You know, that was his big thing. His big response is that he and the guys that wrote that song are all married and have children with their high school sweethearts.
Okay.
But, you know, I mean, I don't remember if George Michael was married or
I
not.
was asking. I mean,
I'm sure
I was
it-
asking
I'm sure at
earnestly.
some
Like,
point.
I really didn't know, but like for some reason, it seemed like I could have read somewhere that he had come out of the
He's
closet.
kind of Robin Thicke, as far as I know, is not out of the closet. He
Okay.
is. I mean, as far as we know,
What about
hetero.
what about his father, Alan? Because back in the Growing Pains days, there were questions.
I wish is that really his dad? I
Yeah,
wish.
that's
Is it
That's
really
his dad.
Alan Thicke is really that
did
guy's
you not
dad?
realize Alan?
I had no idea.
Alan Thicke.
Two fathers wept last night.
Alan Thicke.
I don't think Alan Thicke did.
Alan Thicke actually, Alan Thicke actually, he was a musician before. Like they wrangled him into starring in
He
sitcoms.
wrote
'Cause
the
he
Growing Pains theme
He
song.
wrote like every theme song from the '80s.
Did he?
Yeah.
I knew he
You
did
don't
that
think he
one.
wept at that?
I think.
I'm gonna look up the list of theme songs he's wrote while you guys.
And possibly. So let me finish. So it went from.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Thanks. It went from her to Robin Thicke to 2 Chainz to somebody else who I don't know. Okay, in this weird little montage, and the thing that got me, everybody's gonna be attacking Miley Cyrus. Okay,
Right.
who's gonna talk about Robin Thicke, a 36-year-old man,
Getting twerked.
doing that performance with a 20-year-old? Okay,
Is that how old she is?
she's 20.
I don't know.
She's 20. He's 36.
The whole thing was a train wreck.
I'm
The
losing
whole thing
words.
was a train
What I was
wreck.
going to say earlier was I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
It was a hot mess. It was a daggum.
I don't know that I would say anything about it was hot.
It was a mess.
I
It was
just want to
certainly a
know
mess.
who at MTV okayed that.
That's what
Like-
I'm confused
don't
with.
care.
All those guys, they practice this.
I kept watching it, going, "Not Hannah Montana."
And and let me mention that for a second. When Madonna did it, she had always been Madonna.
Right. Yes.
So we're having these Lindsay Lohans and evidently Miley Cyrus,
Yeah.
who they grow up.
But
and
Lindsay Lohan can at least blame it on drugs.
there were times
They all
during that
fall apart.
performance that I was like, she's not right.
Like Lohan and Britney Spears, and now this.
Yeah.
And
Or
so,
Britney Spears, then Lohan, now this.
well,
Like,
but even Britney
maybe there's a
Spears,
weird Disney thing.
I'm sure there is.
Maybe there's like a weird Disney curse where they have to grow up and go crazy.
Well, the thing is, they don't want us to be seen as women
As a
as
Disney
women
princess.
do.
Yeah.
They don't want to be seen as a child their whole life.
And they think that the only way to break that is to be the opposite.
And she sure wasn't seen as a lady, though.
No,
Like, she wasn't seen as a woman.
no.
no.
It
No,
seemed even
and
more
so-
immature. It seemed
and what
even
I was
more
gonna-
She,
childish.
she wasn't even. She didn't even seem or look like a whore. Like it was no
She
because
looked
it
like
was,
an alien
It,
because
it was
she
a
didn't
joke.
look like a human. Right. Like,
right.
And that's what I was going to say. I was waiting for the punchline. The punchline is there's some people sitting around going, ha ha ha, look what we got her to do, is what it seemed like to me.
Or is the,
because they
is the
rehearsed
punchline
that.
that we just spent 15 minutes of our show talking about.
Well, this is the thing. Somebody, listen,
I think we need to talk about it because I think music is getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
The whole Blurred Lines song is ridiculous.
hey.
Half of hip hop
Hey,
is
hey, hey.
ridiculous. I mean, if we're gonna look at racism with the Trayvon Martin case, and then not call attention to the hip hop lifestyle that's being presented these are all part of a big problem.
Yeah, it's all messed up.
And if we just go, oh, well, I don't watch the MTV anymore, then I'm glad there's an outcry. I'm glad there's an uproar like, that's ridiculous.
This is
I've
what
gotta
made me
tell
laugh
them.
I
was-
view it much more simple. I just think this is just a stupid girl doing something really ridiculous.
No, I agree with that, but I see
That
it.
her
I do
handlers
see it as
let her
part
do.
of an even bigger problem. Like that her handlers allow her to do that. Or everybody allows her to do.
And she's obviously not making good choices. So if we, the public, can be like, nope, that's not. No, then the next time the next one comes up, she's gonna be like, I don't want to be seen as a little kid. Well, you're not doing that.
Now,
you're not doing that because you're gonna be seen as a lunatic.
In her defense, okay, and this is the only. I mean, this isn't really a defense, but in her defense, overcoming that Disney child star stigma is really hard. It's harder than any other child acting stigma. It's not. I mean, it's harder even than like what the kids in the '80s like on Different Strokes. Also, by the way, the theme
Sitcom.
song written by Alan Thicke.
Nice.
But like, you're talking about not just being having the stigma of being a child star and having to overcome like the Joey Lawrence. He was so cute on Give Me a Break.
Whoa.
But then you've also was that Keanu Reeves?
No,
but
that
then
was,
you've
that
also
was Joey Lawrence.
But then
Keanu Reeves is whoa.
But then you've also got to overcome the Mouseketeer sort of thing of it. And there are a few actors who have done it well. Ryan Gosling, we talked about. He was able to overcome it, but it was because he didn't do anything after the Mouseketeers for long enough that everyone forgot him. He wasn't a Miley Cyrus. He wasn't Hannah Montana. He didn't have his own show.
I think it's easier for the guys to
I
overcome
was
it than
gonna
the girls.
say I don't.
I think
don't.
she's right. I think it is.
I think it's.
You think Zac Efron's got it easy right now?
I think he's got it easier
what
than
I
any
think?
of the
Here's
others.
what I think. Here, wait. I'm going to say this. I'm not going to get in that argument. Here's the argument I will make. What I'm saying is that because it's nebulous, right? Like whether they have it difficult or not, right? I'm not saying anybody has
We
it
all
harder.
agree they all have it difficult.
Right. Here's what I will say. We don't have a laundry list of former Disney male stars going berserker. But we now, these three are, cut from the exact, it's like the exact same thing.
Right.
It's not, it's creepily the same.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? It's like Britney Spears. Oh, look, Britney Spears, and she's cute, and she's releasing a kind of a racy album. And she shaved her hair off and gave her child to gypsies.
Right.
Lindsay Lohan, she's so cute, and she's kind of putting out a racy movie, and she's on heroin and drunk and fighting with bums.
So look out, Selena Gomez.
Right.
Keep your stuff together.
Hold it
Poor
together,
little Selena.
Clearly,
Yeah.
but clearly, and I don't think the guys are having the same problem. One, because
I'm just saying, clearly not that problem, or we'd be seeing.
because the guys aren't. Go ahead.
I was just going to say though that I think that they are facing the same stigmas and the same difficulties. I think they just handle it better.
I don't know that they handle it better. They handle it differently, and I think it's differently to
well-
be objectified as a little girl and objectified as a man.
Or
as a
right,
little boy.
They clearly handle it better. But the reason I was going to say why I feel earlier, at that age, womanhood and wanting to be seen as a full-grown woman is different.
Because we want to be boys forever.
Right. Usually, we couldn't care less.
You'll never be a man.
Okay. And I'm like,
right? Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, so I think it's worse.
I agree with.
I mean, I think they're both.
I think that the difference. I do think that I agree that it is different in the ways that you're saying, but I don't think that it is any more or less difficult. I mean, Zac Efron is a great example. It doesn't matter how many indie art house flicks he makes in which he is, the best actor in the film, he's still the High School Musical kid. And he's the great example because if you look at that and you look at that track record and the movies that he's made since then, he's done some amazing work. And he will always still get his eyes rolled at when you hear, well, who stars in that movie? It's Zac Efron.
Correct.
You automatically cut half your audience.
But I don't.
Now, he's as a man, the difference is he doesn't go pose in Playboy.
Right, but for whatever reason, we don't see them at least losing their gourd.
I don't think it happens to guys until they're in their early 30s.
Could be.
Because
Or maybe the guys just go away.
because
and
by then the guy's like
die in rehab or
But
something.
speaking of like former Disney stars, one of the things I really noticed online last night was partway through when I was checking my Facebook feed, people were like talking about how Justin Timberlake is showing Miley how to be classy right now. He's a former Disney guy, and it blew my mind that people were talking about Justin Timberlake teaching her how to be classy at the VMAs. Because,
he brought sexy back.
Well, yeah, in 2008, he's the one who ripped
But he
off...
didn't bring Slutty back.
Well, he did, though. He ripped off Janet Jackson's shirt during the Super Bowl. And you talk about... There were way more kids watching the Super Bowl than were watching the VMAs. Kids don't even know what music videos are now.
And how old was he when he did that? I mean, the bottom line is
Younger than he is now?
Correct. The bottom line is we're also fighting the double standard.
I think what it boils down to is the fact that Alan Thicke wrote the theme song to Growing Pains, Different Strokes, The Facts of Life, The Joker's...
Facts of Life.
Yeah, The Facts of Life.
Whoa, The Facts of Life.
It's like this.
He also wrote the theme to Wheel of Fortune.
Look, you take the good, you take the bad.
Dude, Wheel of Fortune.
If you will take both of those...
Does that even have a theme song? It's just
Dun, dun,
Wheel
dun, 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 dun,
of Fortune.
He wrote the theme to Joker's Wild.
I feel like he got off easy with Wheel of Fortune. I'm sorry. I'm still a little bit hung up on all he had to do was he was like, listen, let me pitch you this idea for a great theme song. We're going to have the crowd yell your name.
What else? Joker's Wild, what else?
It's lasted, though.
Yeah, I know.
Sure.
Who did remember
At the end of the day...
No Whammies, No Whammies, Stop? Which one was
yeah.
that?
Press Your Luck.
Press Your Luck. I want to know who wrote the theme song to Press Your Luck. That was good. Thinking of theme songs, we're going to take a break.
Oh, I love breaks.
And we're going to play our theme song.
I love our theme song.
I hope
We
you're
have a
ready.
great theme song.
I think we do. And it was written by John Cotton. And here it goes. Are you ready?
2, 3, 4. Kicking the bass.
We'll be right back. Lights, Camera, Cleveland.
On TV and not just traffic and weather. And if the world loved movies like we love movies, it all would be much better. If you like movies, then you're cool with me. So let's all
And we're back.
We
You're
are
listening to
back.
Lights, Camera, Cleveland. I'm Rob Alderman. With me, as always, my stalwart traveling companion, the Hollywood Slinky.
Oi, oi.
With him, also, AMC Mike.
Hello?
Ken Dog.
What's up?
AMC Mike, we're on the chat right now.
We are on the
We're
chat.
on the Chatsky Chats. Tell the people out there how they can join us on chat room.
You can join us at bluechat.com/lightscamcleve.
That's BLOOCHAT
Chat.
/ Lights Cam Cleave.
Join us.
And I was just asked by Lassiter's Brittany if our theme song was on iTunes yet.
Not yet. Here's the thing. This the amazing John Cotton, who wrote and recorded this theme song, sent us a couple versions. And we kind of tweaked those versions, and he sent me the latest version here to my phone, which I can access through a link on my phone. That's how I played it. But the version that he sent me to my computer won't open, the Dropbox file won't actually open to download the MP3.
Oh, sad.
So once we can download this MP3 in all of its pristine glory,
Then it will be available for $99.99.
correct, $10 easy. 423-614-5553 if you want to call in to talk about Miley Cyrus.
Or if you have seen Pain and Gain, 423-614-5553.
It's not available for rent yet on my Xbox, but I've checked twice.
or if you would like to take AMC Mike to see The Conjuring, 423-614-5553.
Or if you're interested, you can also find us live streaming on the web right now at whoopfm.com.
And if you're listening to us on the web and you'd like to listen to us on the radio, you can turn your radio to 99.9.
And if you're done listening to us and you want to just go to our website instead and see our old episodes, you can do that at lightscameracleveland.com.
And if you would prefer to check us out on the Twitter webs, you can check us out at LightsCamCleve.
Or if you're a Facebook friend, you could go to Lights Camera Cleveland as your / after Facebook.com.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Wrap it up with the chat again, bro.
Or Blue Chat, BLOOCH.
You want to interact with the Lights Camera Cleveland
Lights
crew.
Cam.
How many
There's
people?
a .com after the.
How many
blue
people
chat.
do we have on this chat?
We've got 4.
4. We have 4 people on the
How
chat.
many whoopsters
We
we
do.
got?
Get them chat stirring.
Wait, well, they have been
We
talking.
got 13. Whoopers.
Listen, right now, we're going to do a new segment for the people that are only in our chat room. This is a special only to chat room. You ready?
Is Max in
All
the
right.
chat?
Let him know.
Yes, Max is
All
in the
right.
chat room.
Tell him to put a shirt on.
People
right.
in the chat room, here's the deal. We will now let anyone in the chat room can ask Slinky any question they want, and he has to answer.
We'll be taking 3 questions.
And he will choose out of those 3 questions.
All right.
What time is it now?
Let me tell you something. It's time for those box office numbers. Hit me with them.
All right, number 5.
Hey, hey, hey. Hey, 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 hey. Sorry.
Well, anyway, there you go. And we're out of time. Opening it.
You want it. It's catchy. It's catchy.
so catchy.
That's what kills me.
so
And Kesha
catchy.
would do that to me.
You
Kesha's
know
a
you-
mess.
Yeah.
But then I'm halfway through the
Kesha's
song.
like creepy smart.
Yeah, I read
creepy.
that article.
So she is just a marketing thing.
What was the song
was
she
like,
did?
Oh gosh.
Brush your teeth with
Tick tock,
some
don't
alcohol
stop till
or something.
something.
I don't know,
And
but they're all
so I'm like,
catchy.
all this music is horrible. But then I'm like, brush my teeth with the bottle of Jack. No! No!
That's unsanitary.
Yes! Well, I mean, depending on the alcoholic content.
I'm not
sure
going to
it
stop singing this song all show. It's not my fault.
Number 7 was your next. Nobody cares. Number 5.
Number 7 was your next.
I
That
know.
was way lower than I
Pretty
thought
low.
it would be.
All right, number 5. Planes, $8.5 million, bringing its 3-week total to 59.6. I can't believe that one's still up there.
Yeah, well, the only kids film still.
Is it? Is it?
Depends on if you count Lee Daniels the butler.
I was
Number-
gonna say, I'm taking Dak to go see the Millers.
Number 4, The
Better
World's
than Planes.
End at $8.9 million. Interesting thing about The World's End, it's only playing in like 1,200 screens, whereas the rest of these movies are playing in over 3,000.
Weird.
But the interesting thing is its per screen average was like triple what all of these other movies were.
Right.
So it was in a third the movies.
people
but
were
it's
willing
packed.
to drive to see it.
Yeah, I had to go to Chattanooga to see it.
5
No.
questions.
Yeah, here's the thing. We saw this, so I know we're going to do some 5 questions.
Ho-
But
Hold on, there's some confusion on the chat. They want to know, is it movie questions or any questions?
any question.
Any questions, guys?
You can ask Slinky any question.
Take note. The answer is any questions. That's our first question taken care of.
We're
Ah.
and we're done for this week.
Thank you.
Always thinking on his feet.
There are 2 left.
Here's the thing about The World's End. It didn't play here.
No, it did not.
And you and I said we would talk. And let me just say, somebody online was like, World's End, I didn't get to see it. Rah! And then somebody else got on and was like, well, let me explain to you why you didn't get to see it.
And it was not correct.
It didn't seem to be... I'm not certain. I don't know who the person was.
I don't know either, but
They were basically arguing that it had something to do with tickets, like
ticket sales, vertical integration. Yeah.
theaters waiting to play the film until they would make more money.
Weird.
Yeah, it was. You know what? It was not. It was one of those situations where he knew just enough to draw the wrong conclusion.
Okay, it seemed that way to me.
Right.
It seemed that way to me, but
Because
I wasn't going to get involved.
what he
like
was-
everyone involved other than you wasn't somebody I really know very well.
What he was saying was not incorrect. It had nothing to do with why it wasn't playing in Cleveland. It wasn't playing in Cleveland because it was actually it was an extremely large limited release. So it wasn't playing in Cleveland because it was only playing on 1,100 screens in the
So
US.
it is going to come to Cleveland.
It may.
Probably.
Yeah. Number.
Well, then I was told lies.
Lies.
Number 3. Mortal Instruments, $9.3 million.
I don't know a single person who went to see this film,
I see demons.
but I know you wanted to see it.
We did want to, yes.
I know you were going to attempt it.
Yeah, well, number 3, Elysium. Number 3, Elysium, $13.6 million, bringing its 2-week total to $55.9 million. Elysium, of course, starring Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
I knew it was coming.
Okay.
Number 2, We're the Millers. This one's the
I think you forgot that we're saying dem apples.
yeah, this is the crazy one.
It's only because I want to hear her go,
What's with,
dem apples.
what's with We're the Millers still being in second place? $13.5 million. Its 3-week total now, $91.7 million. Are we going to, let me ask you, Rob, are we going to have to go see this movie to answer the question, what?
I think we might kind of like, we missed out on The Heat. Remember, we both panned The Heat, and
Right.
then critics said funny, and then audiences agreed with their pocketbooks. This number does say double viewings, at least for some people, which is rare
At
for
this
a comedy.
point, yeah.
So double viewings means some people have found this to be very hilarious.
Number 1, Lee Daniels, The Butler. This one's a little bit of a surprise, too. $17 million, bringing its 2-week total to $52.3.
What was it last week? Was Butler number
It was
one?
number
Yeah,
one.
it was
Yeah.
number 1 last week, too.
Guess who just joined the chat?
Who's that?
Carmi.
Good. Good.
Yay,
Do
welcome,
we have any
Carmi.
chat questions yet for Slink?
We have one question. Max wants to know when Slinky is going to buy him a ticket to come over and visit.
Oh, that's an easy question. Never, because Max lives in Sweden.
Yeah.
What time is it in Sweden?
What time
Max?
is it, Max?
Are we allowed to ask questions back?
Yeah, I think that's only fair. We
And-
we gave him an opportunity. He could have asked anything he wanted.
We are now an internationally renowned program.
Renowned by
He
Max.
says it's 12:30
And is he
nice.
at night.
Nice.
is he currently laying in his bed with his shirt off? And I mean that in the most
Miley Cyrus of ways?
No.
Robin Thicke of ways?
No.
Alan Thicke of ways?
We have also had 2 people on the chat say that they did go see Mortal Instruments.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I
What
know
they
that-
think of
I
it?
can tell you Lassiter Brittany saw it.
During her day of movies?
That's right.
She had a day of like 3 or 4 movies, right?
Yeah,
What-
she
what
kind of
was-
OD'd on movies.
What was it we used to call that? The Dolce
El Noche de Dos Cine. We used to do the night of the 2 movies.
Yeah.
But Lassiter's Brittany went berserker and saw 4.
Which my question for her was, did she pay for all 4?
That's a good
Or was it a
question.
hop?
That's a good question. I will admit to hopping one time in my life when I was much younger. Me and Postelnik
As
hopped
did I when I was
at that
I was in
theater.
high school.
Yeah, we hopped at that theater near the mall. I don't remember what the name of that was.
But it deserved to be hopped.
Yeah, it didn't seem like they wanted the tickets anyway. We went and saw something, and I remember that what happened was we came out and there was this awesome setup for the movie Gladiator. Not Gladiator the one with Russell Crowe, but Gladiator, the one about the kid who learns how to be a hand boxer.
Punchy.
Yeah, Punchy Gladiator. And we came out, and they had the Gladiator was opening that week, and we'd gone to see something else. Postelnik and I came out, and they had the entire hallway with red lights and boxing ring ropes and life-size cutouts of the fighters, and everyone was going in. And we were it was we didn't even realize we were hopping.
Right.
People were like, Gladiator! And they running in, and we were like, yeah, Gladiator, Gladiator, Gladiator. We went in and saw it. We came out, and we were like, well, that was free.
I hopped a movie once, and it was because my dad made me.
Whoa, what movie was it?
I don't even remember. I mean, I was young.
So let's explore this moment of Miley Cyrus parenting, shall we?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And I don't even remember what movie it was, but I remember I got so upset that he
At
did
the
that.
movie hopping?
Yeah, because I was like, we didn't buy tickets, and I was young enough that really upset me and bothered me.
You were like,
And he's like, "Well, cool."
Yeah, basically.
You're
no,
like,
that we actually left. We left because I got so upset.
She wants free movies. She wants free movies. She's a bad girl. I don't know. I can't say much more than that.
I can't believe that your dad
Try to
actually
domesticate you.
spent time with you, let alone.
Freedom movies.
Oh man,
I'm teasing. Right now, your mom's at home watching this stream, going, "Yeah!"
my old man don't.
That's for you, mom.
My old man took me to a couple movies. Do you remember movies he took you to, Ken?
No.
I remember going to see. I remember going with Dad to see E.T. and I remember crying. And
I remember that
screaming
one. I remember you crying
when E.T. died, and I was yelling at him.
gosh.
You promised. You promised.
face out.
Well, I still ball my face out. Even now, I think even now, how long has that been? Like, I mean, goodness.
1,000 years ago.
Yeah, like even though that was 1,000 years ago.
I feel like it was.
When I see it, I still get
more
mad
like
at my dad.
83.
Yeah.
I'm still mad at my dad.
I think less. I think it was like 83. I remember coming out and I was like, I looked at Mom at one point. I was like, Rob was crying like a baby in there. Did you see that? My big brother bawling like a little baby.
Yeah, it's what I did.
I remember that. Didn't we see the animated Robin Hood?
We saw animated Robin Hood, and I saw one of the Star Wars movies with him. But you weren't there because he said he liked me more.
Well, now we know it's a lie.
Actually, no, that is true. He did say that.
I do remember going to see that movie, and I cried and cried, and I was like, "Thanks for bringing me, so Kenny wouldn't make fun of me. Thanks for bringing me." Thanks for bringing me.
So it had to have been Empire Strikes Back when Luke lost his hand. You were like, oh God.
You lied.
Doesn't he want to love his father?
I did see Empire Strikes Back in the theater.
I do remember my dad taking me to go see Lady and the Tramp with my stepbrother at the time, and my
That
stepbrother.
seems like it'd be awkward a little.
Why?
I don't know, just the title feels all
Yeah.
wrong.
And my stepbrother threw such a fit because he didn't want to go see some girly cartoon movie, and I insisted because
In hindsight, can we agree he was right on this one?
Oh my gosh, don't even go there. And
How is he older or younger brother?
he is younger by a few months.
Okay.
And all I remember about going to see this movie was him standing up when the rats go in to attack the baby, and then the tramp gets put in the closet and yelled at. Him standing up in the theater on his seat screaming, "It wasn't him!" It was like hysterical because the tramp was going to be taken away.
I'll tell you something that was horrible. I will share with you a horrible movie story that is true. Since we're on the
Did you look at me because I'm involved?
No,
I know. I was like, "What did you do,
This is a
Kenny?"
true story, and he may or may not be listening. I did go to a re-release of Bambi, and with our Polish reporter Chris Postelnik, and he did dress like a hunter, and he did, and listen, and he did.
Was it by accident?
And no, listen, he did dress like a hunter.
Could be.
And at the moment when the shooting happened, he stood up and yelled "bang" like that, and and he was booed.
Well, yeah, he
The
should
entire
be.
theater, and like moms were giving dirty, and I was like, that was like one of those times when you're questioning
Why
your friends. Like I mean, this happens with almost every friend I have, and I'm sure it happens with them with me. I'm sure they can all tell a Rob story about the time that they banged their head against a wall.
Postelnik's like looking at his wife right now going, it was Rob's idea for me to do it.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
just
he's
did
throwing
it.
me under the bus.
Right. I did it,
just-
but Rob was like, you know what you should do?
He was capable of anything. Well, yeah, you got to take advantage of those people.
All right, we have a third question.
Okay.
Okay, what movie would you consider to be the best summer film so far?
This is a close one for me.
Uh-oh.
Now, I let it go on record that I didn't see as much this summer as I would have liked to.
That goes for
always-
everyone in the world, I think.
But
Always.
of what I've seen, I'd have to say Pacific Rim.
Really?
Just barely in front of Star Trek.
That's what I would say, too. I know the question's for you, not me, but that would have been my call.
So there you go.
Kenny would have
Okay.
said The Peoples.
That's right.
Or Pain and Gain, neither of which that he saw.
but he was there, man.
In his heart.
He was there.
Well,
Fruitvale Station.
that's the big... That's the box office number.
I don't know what that means.
I think my big thing with the box office numbers this week has been they're all abysmal.
Yeah, it feels it's very anticlimactic. Although again, I do want to see Mortal Instruments.
I want to see all of it.
And apparently you and I have to, I guess, go one night this week to see We're the Millers and get that out of the way.
I don't know that we're going to have to go see it, but, I mean, we could go see it. I don't know. Are we there? I mean, does it have, maybe it sticks around one more week before we commit. What do you think?
Okay.
I mean, with all these other
No, I
movies that we know
understand.
we
No,
wanna
I understand. You don't want to see a movie with me. It's okay.
That's
I
not
get
what
it.
I'm saying at
No,
all.
it's very often that I ask you to go see a movie, and so I can understand.
Our phone is ringing.
Yeah, it's Brett. He's early.
It's Brett with the Sports Report. Brett with the Sports Report.
How you guys doing?
Good, buddy. How are you doing?
Good.
Hey, Brett, I was going to tell you. I found out today that on this day in 1939, the very first Major League Baseball game was televised.
Yeah.
Do you know who played?
I don't know.
It was the Reds versus the Dodgers, and it was a doubleheader.
Yeah.
So what are we watching tonight, Brett?
The Braves are off tonight.
So are you watching anything else?
I'm gonna keep up to date on the Phillies. The Phillies are playing the Mets, and the Washington Nationals are they're off tonight as well.
How about local football this last week?
I'm not watching any NFL this week.
No, the local football. Like, didn't Bradley play?
Yeah, we lost.
Who'd you lose to?
We don't talk about it when we lose.
You lost to Polk County?
Yeah.
At Polk County, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you live in Bradley County, so in a way, didn't we win?
Hey, was it a close game?
Yeah, it was a close game. It was a 29-27 win for Coach Derek Davis.
Who won the Cleveland high school game?
Cleveland didn't win.
So Cleveland and Bradley both started with losses, but the Mustangs started with a win.
Yeah.
So right now Walker Valley's sitting high.
Yeah. I was going to tell you, we have our first home game. It's the 29th. It's the 30th.
Well, who are you playing?
Riverdale.
Well, everybody needs to come out to that game.
Yeah. Somebody's in the hospital.
No, I didn't know who.
You know who does the show every Thursdays and Friday mornings?
Here on this station?
Yeah.
Mark?
Yeah.
Mark's in the hospital?
Yeah. He's not doing too good.
I didn't know that. We'll definitely keep him in our thoughts and prayers. Thanks.
He's been sick. You know who's been filling in for him?
Who?
Lisa.
Well, that makes sense.
Thursdays and Fridays.
All right, that sounds good, buddy. Thanks for letting us know.
All right.
Take it easy.
All right.
Well, there you go.
Well, that's no good. We like Mark.
Yeah, I
We
didn't
don't
know
like
that.
to hear that.
I didn't know that was going on at all. I think we're about ready to take a break, though.
You know what I love about breaks?
What?
Coming back from them.
Is that true?
Oh, yeah.
That's sweet.
We're going to be right back. We're going to talk big news, previews, lots more on Lights, Camera, Clean.
That are getting back in touch, and it's a pretty good feeling. Yeah, it feels pretty good. I get a lot of double takes when I'm coming around the corners, and it's mostly pretty nice. Yeah, it's mostly pretty alright, because most kids give me credit for being down with it when it was back in the day, back when things were way different, when the youth of today and the early 7 seconds taught me some of life's most valuable lessons. There's gonna come a time when the scene will seem less sunny. It'll probably get druggy and the kids will seem too skinny. There's gonna come a time when she's gonna have to go with whoever's gonna get her the highest. There's gonna come a time when the true scene leaders will forget where they differ and get big picture, cause the kids at the shows, they'll have kids of their own. And the sing-along songs will be our scriptures.
It's awesome.
Gotta stay positive. We gotta stay positive. When the chaperone crowned us the king and the queen, I knew that we'd arrived at a unified scene, and all those little lambs from my dreams, well, they were there too. Cause it's one thing to start it with a positive jam, and it's another thing to see it on through. And we couldn't have even done this if it wasn't for you. We gotta stay positive. We gotta stay positive. We gotta stay positive.
The president.
Save it! This is gold. Save it.
This just in, Carmi, not a fan of our music.
That's okay. I'm going to try to play something that she likes next.
So you got to let us know, Carmi.
She told me
looking right
I
now.
think she wants a little Kenny Loggins.
I'm going to look here
Oh,
and
dear.
see what I've got.
She was like, I'd like to hear some of that Loggins in Messina.
I think, didn't Carmi say she liked Elvis?
Hook me up with the little angry eyes, she said.
Hold on. I'm looking to see if we
Listen,
have a
Kenny Loggins
Happy Carmi.
has some good movie songs.
He holds the record for being the artist who has
Oh,
written.
Carmi says Kenny Rogers.
He's written more songs for movies more than any other
Or Elvis.
artist.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, other than the top two,
Hold on. Here you go. We're going to-
Caddyshack and
listen,
and
we're going to play a little bit of music quietly in the background as Ryan
Oh.
introduces the big news for Carmi. Now this is just for you, and this is the story of Slinky's. It's kind of like
about
this
how-
is like your story. You know what I'm saying? Like you remember this.
As the snow flies
I love this song.
This is a
on a cold and gray Chicago morning, a poor little baby
Slinky was born in the ghetto.
My mom would disagree.
and his
Everybody knows I was born in the ghetto and you were out in the burbs.
Cedar Lake was not the ghetto.
No.
Yeah, and
But it
we
did have
also were not.
But it
the
had it
ghetto.
did have a toxic lake.
It did, actually.
All right, I'm
I
going to
can't
lower
say
this
anything.
music
I'm
so
from
that you-
South Haven, so
I'm going
you
to
know.
lower this music so that you can introduce.
I
There you go, Carmi. That's for
I'd appreciate it if you didn't turn down Elvis.
I know. What's
I'm
up
just
with that?
we can't do two musical interludes.
Why not?
It messes
Wacky.
up our flow.
I heard Elizabeth Taylor turned down Elvis. And if she can turn down Elvis, so can we.
You are no
I agree with
Liz
that.
Listen,
Taylor.
no, you are the Liz Taylor of segues. That was the best segue I've heard.
Yeah, it was
So
fantastic.
how about
I'm
we
just
just turn him up in my earphones?
No, we can't do it. Anyway, Carmi,
Hey, what time
that
is
was-
it, Robbo?
It's time for the big news.
This is the part of the show where we have scoured the interwebs to find out everything that was exciting and happening in Hollywood over the last week, and we bring it to you live right here now on the radio. Top story tonight is also my favorite headline, probably ever.
Oh yeah,
The headline is not as controversial as Affleck.
that's difficult.
According to Comic Book News, Breaking Bad star Bryan Cranston has nabbed the role of Lex Luthor in the Man of Steel sequel.
The only problem I have with this Slinky is that Comic Book News is the only people that have reported this.
But they're usually pretty right on this stuff.
It's weird.
They're saying that Warner Brothers is waiting until after the September 29th series finale of Breaking Bad to make a formal announcement that this is the case. And frankly, that actually fits studio politics.
I don't know. I will say this. I'm for it.
Yep.
I'm for it 100%.
Yeah, he's great in Malcolm in the Middle.
It's actually true.
It is true.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's the really interesting thing about it is that not only if this is to believe, not only has he landed the part, but he is signed to appear in as many as 10 films. So they apparently are planning for the DC universe to have a long run of Lex Luthor.
I don't see it going that deep.
Here's my thought on this is do you like Cavill as Superman? I didn't think he was the problem with that movie.
I
thought weird, ridiculous writing was the problem.
Probably.
That's what
you know.
I've
I mean,
heard.
I thought he was a pretty okay Superman.
I thought he did a good job in the role. I thought that.
I was
think
always
you're right.
weirded out by the size, the immensity of his arms.
He was buff.
Superman.
But
yeah,
here's
he
the
did.
thing is,
He was not unripped.
if we take this plus the Affleck that we're about to discuss,
Right.
and the Cavill, like take Cavill, who is kind of an up and coming star.
What's his first name?
Henry.
Can we call him Hank?
No.
Because every time you
No, you
say Cable,
can't.
I think of James Carville, the Raging Cajun.
And he would have been a
guy.
great Superman too.
He would have been a great Lex Luthor.
But you take that, Bryan Cranston and Ben Affleck, and good grief, suddenly you actually have something that can compete with the Marvel stuff.
Maybe.
I think you'll beat
Allegedly.
I think you'll beat the.
Well, at least
beat
that's
the
what they're
Fox
trying to do.
stuff.
I think there's a chance.
Allegedly. Obviously, the other big news is that Ben Affleck was cast as Batman for the Superman sequel. And so anyway, so that is a great deal of controversy as well. Not many people, not well received. 71% of Twitter posts when that was made, 71% of them were negative.
It's a large percentage, but it might just say that people on the tweetsters are negative.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
But does this say that? Does this
There's
say
no
that?
allegedly there.
Does this say that Ben Affleck is not right, or does this say that people are too attached to Batman to be open to new ideas?
I say it's number 2.
I think it's that.
You mean
I
it's
think
poopy?
I think the whole thing has way
That's-
more to do with what we think about Batman than what we think about Ben Affleck, because I feel like Affleck is a man who has committed no crime. I mean, Geely was a crime.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a
But-
few crimes, but
But as Sir Patton Oswalt pointed out today in his Facebook post, every actor has bad films.
Yeah.
right.
I mean-
Ben just happens to have 12 of them.
I mean, Bill Cosby did Leonard Part 6.
This is true. Ben Affleck did Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just think there's lots of bad movies. in
He
the world.
also carries the weight of the failure that was Daredevil. Now, whether or not it was his, arguably different. Some people say it was him. Some people say it was not. But arguably, Daredevil certainly was a failure, and perhaps it was his fault. But what comic book fans have to remember is that Ben Affleck is a huge comic book collector, and he was actually, at one point, Fox approached him and offered him the opportunity to write and direct and star in a reboot of Daredevil.
Yeah, they felt bad because that one should have been great.
And he turned it down.
Yeah.
He said, "You know what? We took a shot at it and it wasn't good. So no." And so I think that the fact that he respects the work to that level, I think that, I mean, if he didn't think he could play Batman, I don't know that he would have taken the role.
I just think, listen, it was a pretty short list, and we discussed this. I think
And
what was
one of the
funny is
people on their short list was on our short list.
2, because we had Ryan Gosling on our short list also. Now we didn't stump him like we stumped for Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
We had Ben Affleck on our list. We had Josh Brolin on our list. We had someone else that I don't recall, and we had Ryan Gosling. But we had pushed pretty hard for Josh Brolin just
Wasn't
because
it Zac Efron? Didn't Ryan?
that
want
was
Zac
for
Efron?
young. That was his. He had a
That was
few
when
that
we were
on
talking
his
about young.
Yeah, if we
But
did
in
that.
our older, there was one more, and I don't remember. But we had really kind of pushed this Josh Brolin thing. But now that they've picked Ben Affleck, I gotta say I'm good with it. Like, I'm good with it. I think that people are kind of uptight because they want to hold on to
Christian Bale.
Yeah, they want to hold on to Christian Bale, and I think here's the thing. I was watching the Batman movies, a trilogy last year, at this place here in town, and I was hanging out with these kids that are in their mid-20s. And at one point, one of them looked at me, and he's a film guy. He's a film student. He makes movies, has made some good local stuff, and he said to me, this is our Star Wars. That's what he's talking about, the Batman trilogy. He said, this is our Star Wars. We've grown up with this. And I had to think, right, like you were a lot younger. Like he was just old enough to start watching R-rated movies when the first Batman
we
movie
have
came
a
out.
pantheon of Bruce Waynes.
I think we also have to remember too, I mean, it's not like he's the first actor to ever be cast as in one of these roles and have the public outcry and then be proved wrong. I mean, dude, Heath Ledger was not welcomed as the Joker when he was cast. I mean, Michael Keaton, by many accounts,
there was an actual petition for it not to be Michael Keaton,
right?
Which is similar to what just like there's a ridiculous petition out right now.
They have like 12,000 signatures.
12,000 people that don't have anything better to do.
Yeah,
that's what kind of came to my mind when I was reading Patton Oswalt's post. How ridiculous it's like now with social media. It feels like everybody thinks they have a say,
right?
And remember how we were talking about how celebrities should stay out of politics.
Right.
I feel
non-celebrities should stay out of celebrityism.
Well, I feel listen.
People ought to stay out of stuff they don't know.
Is what's got this whole petition thing going. All this political stuff. Somebody says this or somebody decides that, and there's an online petition. Everybody can sign it. Now we're going to do it for a guy's career? I think that's a little ridiculous.
Some of that, though, is the.
It's funny just to even say.
Some of that is the fault of the studios, though. You know, there was a time, like 5 or 6 years ago, when Ain't It Cool News had a lot of power as a website. And if people, there were several times when movies either were taken out of production or actors were changed because of the outcry that happened in the forums there. And at some point, the studios have stopped buying into those comments, but
probably because.
But they empowered it, though,
and that's fine. But I feel like it's been abused. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ben Affleck, he's done some good movies. He's done some bad movies.
We're going to talk about some bad ones.
I personally don't dislike Ben Affleck.
I don't either.
You know what I mean? I like his brother too.
Yes,
Casey Affleck. His brother cracks me up.
Right.
Yeah.
But to be honest, for me, I've never seen the bad movies.
Slink, who was it we were talking about recently? We were talking about somebody that people talked about was bad because they had done a couple of stinkers, but we pointed at the body of work, and the body of work was good. Was it maybe Ben Stiller? I don't remember. It was on the show, but we just had this. This has Ben Affleck to me. When I look, like, I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I liked Reindeer Games. I saw it. People like to make fun of it, but I saw it.
His people like to make fun of it, and that's why everybody else makes fun of it. He's got some famous friends.
He has some. Right. It'd be like if somebody in here made a movie. And then they had to come back in here. We had to make fun of it on the right. We were all like, "Yeah, Ryan made Reindeer Games." Blah. Like, it's like whatever. It's like, but now he had some awful movies.
Okay, but in my defense, I would never make Reindeer Games.
No, you wouldn't. Yeah, I know you wouldn't make it, but Ken Dog would.
I clearly would.
Yeah,
Ken Dog would make it.
A job's a job, bro.
AMC Mike would make Geely hands down.
The problem.
What? What? You take that back right now.
I can't hate it. I can't hate it. There was nothing. I already had hated one this week.
Hey, quiet down, Jersey Girl.
I'd already hated Jersey Girl.
So
I can't hate Jersey Girl.
For me to finish,
I'm closing up this chat room and leaving.
For me to finish my statement,
Thank God.
The movies I saw and I liked him in. It wasn't him that drew me away from those movies. I was like, I don't want to watch that. And I don't want to watch this.
I think it's difficult to actually have a conversation about whether or not Ben Affleck is right for the role or not. And I'll tell you the main reason why. All right. It's kind of like when you talk about politics. Okay. If we talk about like, we could talk about like, Muslims versus Christians or something like that. Right. The problem is that those things are culturally significant to us to a level that they're part of who we are. Okay? Whereas we could talk about like the Romans invading something back, in the 1200s, and we can have a conversation about that because it's so separated from who we are that we're able to have intelligent discussion about it. Right. And I think that what's happened is that Batman, because we've had more Batman movies than any other superhero. And Lord knows they've tried to make a good Wolverine film 1,200 times. So I think it's kind of like talking politics.
Right.
You know, Batman has become such a part of who we are in superhero film culture that you can't talk about it without getting defensive because one of those Batman movies is part of your identity.
Right.
I also want to point out.
Was that too deep for this show?
No.
I
Okay.
think it's just right.
Yeah, I think it's right.
And I don't think it was Patton Oswalt. It was somebody else I saw. They said, let's remember that when The Dark Knight came out, he was made fun of totally. Everybody be like, rah, rah, rah. Do you remember that?
And they should have.
I still make fun.
Yeah,
of
I was going to say that's something that we still make.
That's a bad example for me because I don't think those movies are the stroke of brilliance that
I thought
many
they were,
others do.
Right, but there's that segment is my point. Is you've also got to remember that there was that everybody was like, what's wrong
There's
with
this
him?
whole group of people who there's this whole group of Christian Bale, Christopher Nolan Batman, worshipers who have somehow completely blocked the existence of Katie Holmes from their mind.
And she was bad.
I wish we could all do that. Because
she was not good.
No, she was not good.
So there you go.
So back to Lex Luthor. Isn't that what
Bryan Cranston? Were you kind of acting like negative?
No, I think he's going to fit the role very
He's bald
well.
already.
He's bald.
He's shaved it up for Breaking Bad.
He knows how to be funny and evil, which is something
and scary. Yeah.
And so, people are used to seeing
Gene Hackman was both.
Him that way already.
He's old enough.
I would have liked to seen Bruce Willis. Or maybe
Yippee-ki-yay, Superman.
Yeah. Or also maybe take a different and do Mike Myers, a little No.
Little Wayne and Garth.
No, Superman, bring me $1 million.
Next up in the big news, Damon Reborn. Matt Damon left the Bourne franchise saying that he would never return unless director Paul Greengrass returned as well. Surprise! And now it turns out that may be happening. There are simultaneous negotiations right now happening with Matt Damon and Greengrass to bring
Please say
Jason
them
Bourne
apples.
back. Universal's currently, this is my big news. Universal is currently gearing up. They're currently gearing up a Bourne Identity 5 with Jeremy Renner, who, of course, was in 4. But Universal's saying that they're continuing with the Jeremy Renner Bourne films with or without Matt Damon. But they'd prefer to have both Jason Bourne and Aaron Cross in the same film together.
It seems like because they didn't play the same guy, they played like one of many of these guys, that's fine.
Yeah.
Right? You could have multiple Bournes. You could have Jeremy Renner and Dem Apples. They both could be in one.
I just think it's interesting to see him thinking about returning. It seemed like that was something he had walked.
Are we not going to discuss the fact that that guy's name's Greengrass?
No. No, we're not.
Okay. All right.
Next up, Redford reaches Kickstarter goal.
Surely that's not his real name.
Don't call me Shirley.
Paul.
Oh, wow. Correct. Paul Greengrass.
Pamela Green and Jarek Van Sluge are trying to I hate this show.
Worst show ever, but I mean in general.
Co-directors Pamela Green and Jarek Van Sluge, along with executive producer Robert Redford, have recently reached their Kickstarter goal of $200,000 to make a documentary called Be Natural. This is about Alice Guy Blaché, the 23-year-old who became the very first female director back in 1895. She went on to become the first female studio owner and one of the most prominent filmmakers in the industry, as well as one of the highest paid women in the United States at the time. She actually wrote, directed, and produced one of the very first narrative films ever made, and was among the first to use synchronized sound, and encouraged her actors to be natural in front of the camera, which is why the movie's called Be Natural. The interesting thing here, Robert Redford now doing a Kickstarter for a movie.
Huh.
Are they going to get mad at him like they did at Spike Lee?
Probably not.
Because his life is ruined?
I think that it's actually because the dollar amounts are so different. Robert Redford's asking for $200,000.
What was Spike Lee?
Wasn't it like $2 million?
Which is like twice his age. No?
Yeah, I did. I laughed. I laughed and laughed.
I laughed.
That made me laugh lots.
That was very funny. We are having good times.
Okay.
Last up, Tomorrowland plot revealed. This has been months in the waiting. Brad Bird's newest film, Tomorrowland, for Disney, was written by Brad Bird and Damon Lindelof, and it's been leaving folks guessing about the plot, claiming that it was based on a box of Walt Disney's discarded items labeled 1952. Anyway, the plot is, quote, bound by a shared destiny, a bright, optimistic teen played by Britt Robertson, who is currently seen on Under the Dome, bursting with scientific curiosity, and a former boy genius inventor played by George Clooney embark on a danger-filled mission to unearth the secrets of an enigmatic place somewhere in time and space that exists in their collective memory as Tomorrowland. Lame.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to know more.
You need to know more.
You need to know more
about that.
To know more.
For me
It
to
stars
not
one
say
of the
lame.
greatest actors of all time and one of the worst actresses
Robertson?
of all time.
Is that the girl's Britt
Britt Robertson is terrible. She was in The Secret Circle and Under the Dome, and she is by far
yeah.
like the worst part of both of
I
those
haven't
shows.
seen any of that.
Yeah, don't.
You know what
Well,
you're missing? Because you know what you're missing? Britt Robertson sucking.
Yeah. She's not good.
Watching someone fail.
If Miley Cyrus was performing music last night, then this girl acts.
Oh.
That's an analogy.
It's a metaphor.
All right. We have a request for the unicorn.
Oh,
Okay.
hit it.
Never stop believing. Miracles are everywhere.
It's true.
Okay, it is
Miracles
true.
are everywhere.
And we have another question for you, Slinky.
Oh, I see. Well then.
Do you want to take it, or
Yeah, this is our, at this point, it's the worst show we've ever done.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
Okay. I
Maybe.
would say the worst.
I think we've done worse.
And we've done worse. If there was a movie made about your life, what actors would you want to play the young you, the current you, and the old you?
Well,
Wow.
that's a good question.
And I was also asked if you received superpowers from the toxic waste lake where you grew up at.
Yes, I did. My superpower is to be able to tolerate the three of you on this radio show.
Nice. Somebody's got to.
Yeah. I built up a tolerance to waste. Gosh, who would play me both as a young, a medium, and an old me? Well, the problem is I've not been old yet, so I don't know who would play the old me, but if I had to guess, John Malkovich.
Well, yeah.
Old you? Seems right.
I think we want everyone wants John Malkovich to play the old
I mean,
one. I do.
I don't feel bad about John Malkovich playing me as
Yeah, no.
an old man.
I want Brad Pitt
feel
to play
all
the
right
old me.
about that.
Brad Pitt to be old you?
Yeah.
Really?
Isn't he younger than you now?
False.
Who's gonna
Are
play?
you sure?
But now I'm far more interested in who would play the three of you in my movie.
Uh-oh.
Well, obviously,
That's
I'd be
dangerous.
Ryan Gosling.
Obviously.
Clearly, I would be played by Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Katie Holmes. Am I right? Am I right?
Oh. That's mean.
What about Zoe Deschanel?
That's better.
Rainbows and unicorns.
She could always be singing your song. Happy birthday, people. Look at me, I'm quirky. Not you.
Sure. I was just told that Rob needs to be John Goodman.
I was going to go for Oliver Platt, but I'll live with John Goodman.
Yeah.
John Goodman, older.
I would play
Oliver
for
Platt now.
I'd play for that. Yeah. Oliver
I
Platt.
kind of felt like I'm Oliver Platty more than I am John Goodman.
Young Rob is Jack Black.
Yeah, young Rob is Jack Black. Older Rob is Oliver Platt. You know, once I've got a little bit more refined. I like it when Oliver Platt does those like deep Southern movies.
Okay, young me is
Young you is the guy from Clerks.
young me is Ryan Gosling. Current me is Brad Pitt. Old me, Will Ferrell.
Oh.
I think old you is Will Ferrell. Current you is Brad Pitt with lots of makeup, and young you is Jason Mewes from the Clerks franchise.
We'd have to pretty him up. We'd have to pretty Brad Pitt up to play me.
So I think old me is John Malkovich, and I think current me is Philip Seymour Hoffman.
All right.
Okay.
You know, I mean, they might have to CGI him a little bit younger.
Did you know
just a
one
little?
time? Do you remember when there was that?
Lifts
Do
in
you
his
remember when there
shoes?
was that like?
Is he tiny?
There was
now?
like this
I
app
think so.
that would take the algorithms of your face and try to find the celebrity you looked the most like a few years ago, and it actually picked Philip Seymour Hoffman for me, and it was creepy because I was thinking like I don't think of myself as looking like Philip Seymour Hoffman, but it just happened that there was one movie where he had done that, and that happened to be the photo that they pulled.
Bearded out.
And it was yes, he was bearded out with his little square glasses, and I was like,
I was thinking,
hey, it looks like me.
I was thinking current Slinky would be Paul Giamatti.
Slinky's got too much hair.
Why?
Paul Giamatti.
Well, let's put a wig on him because he can play surly.
He can play
I don't
Surly.
even know what that means.
Surly
No,
is
I do.
Surly's like
You
clever.
I don't know what it means, or you don't know what it means.
cleverly witted angst.
I would cast John Panette as Rob. You be here for an hour. You go now.
I forgot that was even a person in there. I didn't even remember that was a guy.
Oh, you know who he is.
I remember it when you said that. I didn't remember his name.
Young AMC Mike is what's her name from Parks and Rec.
Yeah. What's her name for? Yeah, Parks and Rec.
Yeah,
girl that
what's her
doesn't
name?
care about
What's her
answering
name?
the phone. You know, she's just in that movie, that movie we're talking about, the bucket list, but for chicks that are going to have sex before they go to college.
yeah.
That should have been the name of that movie.
Everyone would listen. That would sell a lot of tickets. Open this weekend. The bucket list for chicks that are going to have lots of sex before they go to college.
Number 1.
Rated PG.
Yeah.
So, old me, John Malkovich. Current me, Philip Seymour Hoffman. Young me, I'm thinking.
How about River Phoenix if he had a car accident in this area?
Wow.
Ouch.
Well, I'm saying the hair and the body type.
Wow.
I'm just saying maybe not a car accident.
I'm offended.
Yeah, you called me the guy from that Chinese buffet joke. Screw you. I veto it. You're not offended. You're pretending to be offended right now, but you're actually incapable.
You
of
know
being
who
offended.
would do great
I
at
was
pretending to be offended? Paul Giamatti. I just keep saying it because.
What about Brad Renfro?
I mean, he's dead.
Oh, sorry.
So is River Phoenix.
I didn't realize. Uh-oh.
Yeah, but River Phoenix could be in a car wreck still.
I didn't realize. Well, I was just saying in this area.
I would.
Just think in this area. It's radio, and he's pointing at his face.
Right in here. It's just this
He
area.
keeps like doing this whole
yeah.
motion.
Kind of like this area.
the whole
Internet.
head area.
Kind of in here.
What was the kid from T2?
Okay, you know what? I've got to apologize
That would be a
because
good young
in looking
Slinky.
at his current photo, John Panette would actually be more likely to play Dusty. Put the mustache on
Put
there.
a mustache on that dude.
Put the mustache on there, and
Yeah.
it's John Panette.
Edward Furlong.
I would have
Not Edward Furlong. Not Edward Furlong now.
I was gonna go with Michael Cera
To be you?
For
to
you?
be me.
I've never seen you that.
No,
awkward.
I don't see you as that awkward.
He could. It's acting.
Yeah, no, I don't see him as being
sure?
able to even act confident enough. I don't think it's even close. I'm gonna go with we bring Brad Renfro back from the dead, and that's you, young.
Like is it a Weekend
And
at
for
Bernie's?
like
kinda?
young me,
I love
young me,
Weekend.
young me is that chubby kid from The Sandlot.
Yep.
That's me. That's young me.
You're killing me, Smalls. You know, Lassiter's Brittany actually watched The Sandlot this week.
Oh, we were on the.
By the way,
Cat-
I will also accept.
Zac Efron.
I will also accept fatty John Favreau for me, because there are times when he kind of lets himself go, and we're real
Like
similar.
Iron Man 3.
Yeah, like I
Did you
can't
guys see him in Iron
Yeah,
Man 3?
listen,
Yeah.
not Iron Man 1 John Favreau,
But
definitely not Swingers John Favreau, but Iron Man 3 John Favreau or Oliver Platt.
What about Fatty Seth Rogen for you?
Fatty Seth Rogen for me is like every day. Most people actually think that most people actually think we're the same guy. He writes me Facebook messages like, seriously, man, why'd you make all those people mad at Blockbuster the other day?
People keep giving me high fives and being like, "What's up, Rob?"
They're like, I read your blog.
What terrifies me, though, is the fact that this whole movie is going to end up written by Travis Beacham, and we're all going to sound like jerks.
That's
pretty accurate.
That's accurate.
The ultimate revenge for Travis Beacham says is he writes our biopic.
My Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen's all, guys, welcome to the Shatterdome.
I feel bad that Seth Rogen's going to have to put all that weight back on to play you.
I don't know. He's like he
Deal with it.
looks like he's
It's called acting.
It's called acting. You eat some cupcakes, Rogen. Eat some cupcakes. It's not my fault you decided to go on a diet. You could have been.
And if Will Ferrell can't make it, I guess I'll let Matthew McConaughey play old me.
Matthew McConaughey could play old you.
Sure.
All right.
all right.
Wow.
I could see that because Matthew McConaughey looked like Death in that Wolf on Wall Street movie or whatever. Did you see that thing? The video.
He
for that
looked
one?
rough.
Yeah, that could be old you for
I've
sure.
seen some rough-looking pictures of him. Woody Harrelson. I'll let Woody Harrelson. be
Actually,
old.
Woody Harrelson would be a better Kenny
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
old Kenny.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I kind of see now. I'm kind of wishing that I
can
had
I
cast Leonardo DiCaprio as me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could work.
Yeah, the haircut.
Maybe
Go for it.
maybe Seymour Hoffman is like the me in between John Malkovich and
You know,
Leonardo DiCaprio.
As I think back, actually,
So young you now is you now.
yeah, you know what? I just
So
realized-
you young you is now, and
Right.
then one later.
I
and
did
then
just
another.
turn 27.
Yeah.
Well, the weird thing I was just realizing is that in actuality, I'm just always Seth Rogen. Like you actually start at Freaks and Geeks Seth Rogen. And then you kind of move your way up through all the fatty fat Seth Rogen. Then I lost some weight just like he did, and then I put it back. I mean, you could it's kind of like Seth Rogen. It's unfortunate. I don't know that I've ever reached like Seth Rogen in Green what was that? No, not Green Lantern. No, what was his?
Green Hornet.
Green Hornet. I don't know that I've ever reached a
Deathbed
Green
That was
Me?
pretty thin.
Deathbed
That was
Me?
the thinnest Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Deathbed
But
Me,
he's not
Clint
that way
Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood actually will play all of us on our deathbeds.
Yeah.
There comes a point
Just with
where it's
different
just
beards and
all wrinkles.
Four different beards. Yeah.
They're just gonna swap a wig, and then in one he could use no hair.
Right.
And yeah, it's like Clint Eastwood with a car wreck right here.
Right in this area. It's like right in this area here.
I love it.
That's where that happened. So, I don't know. We're gonna take a break. That's what
I think we need a break. I need a break.
I
feel
wanted to
like
be
that's
Betty
actually true.
White. I want to be old.
Old Betty
Old
White.
Betty
White.
White.
Sure.
Who plays young Betty
Doesn't
White?
everybody want to?
No one.
Because
Estelle Getty?
She could-
Estelle Getty.
She could. Betty White could just play all of the versions of me too.
I think
okay with that.
everybody-
She's awesome.
Get her hair dark.
At some
Yeah.
point, everybody
Wigs.
wants to be Betty White.
Yeah.
We're gonna be right back. Seth Rogen says, "Listen to us later."
Leonardo DiCaprio says, "You're listening to Lights, Camera, Cleveland."
We'll be right back.
Betty White says, "Beep."
So rational, I'd rather that than casually throw all my dreams away. Life's not some ship you sail on you when you're feeling passionate. You're in it, you're in it. So get some courage, kid, and why don't you grow up? And all I ever wanted to be was in your stereo that kissed your ears and your sleep. But I'm no Romeo. In fact, I think I barely know nothing about anything. But if we'll take this past the edge and let go, I think we'll find what we're looking for. If we'll take this past the edge and let go, I think we'll find what we're looking for. I've got a dream catcher above my bed so I can shake the demons out of my head and get some sleep. I think that's what I need.
And we're back.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
become
yeah,
a
yeah.
thing. That's like become the whoa whoa whoas have become a thing, kind of like Dem Apples.
You know what? It's
and
only
Phenomena.
it's only become a thing because you won't turn our mics on a few seconds earlier, so we could actually do it along with the song.
I'm gonna work on that.
Okay.
I'm gonna work on that. I feel like that would be a pleasurable thing.
Hey, 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 hey.
Hey,
hey, hey.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, if the moon was made out of
Hi,
cheese,
everybody.
would you eat it? I would.
Go Cubs.
Slinky, I noticed something out in the parking lot. As I was walking in here, I saw your car, and it was so dirty.
I'm not so dirty.
It was so dirty.
It's not so dirty.
It was dirty.
No.
No.
It's the dirtiest thing I've ever seen.
It's not dirty. It's nice. Some people like it that
You
way.
dirty, dirty car.
It's load bearing dirt.
It's for better gas mileage.
Your car was so dirty, I thought it had just come out of the VMA Awards. Doing a duet with Robin Thicke. It's time for the Surf's Up review.
If your car's a twerking,
We're a working.
this is the part of the show where we're going to go watch all of these trailers and previews and commercials and read all the articles and listen to all the interviews and read all the articles that we missed the first time we read articles a few seconds before. And then we're going to tell you whether or not a movie should be seen by you or not.
Heck yes,
We are professionals. Do not attempt the preview review at home.
You can attempt it.
But stretch first.
Also, don't tell us if you're really good at
because
it.
Then you're,
that'll make us feel weird.
It's our thing. And
it's
you're
like this
taking
thing that we do.
Don't run with our ball.
It doesn't. Now, before we do this, I do need to announce over the radio on every show that the Bald Headed Bistro will now be having live music every Thursday evening. Join them on the patio for live music presented by Shane Lowe every Thursday from 5 to 8 p.m. Happy hour from 4:30 to 6. Joe Collins. Hey, that's the Collins brothers.
It's only one of them.
That's a Collin brother. Joe Collins every Wednesday from 6 to 9. So, I mean, you could choose between coming in Thursdays or Wednesdays, but if you can only do one of them, which one are you going to do? You going to roll the dice, or are you going to come in and see Joe Collins?
I'm going to go to lightscameracleveland.com and listen to an old episode of our show.
What if you wanted to be in the chat room?
I would go to BLOOCHAT.com/lightscamcleve.
What if you wanted to find us on Facebook?
I'd go to facebook.com/lightscameracleveland.
What about on Twitter?
@lightscamcleve.
What if you wanted to listen to us on the radio?
You could go to 99.9 FM.
Well, have we covered it all?
You can go to whoopfm.com and stream us.
You can do all those things.
If you wanted to text us, you could, but I'm not giving you my number.
Me either.
You could call in and participate.
423-614-5553.
Or if you've seen Pain and Gain, 423-614-5553.
Or if you would like to take AMC Mike to see The Conjuring, 423-614-5553.
Or if you're interested in trying out to play young Ken Dog in the movie, 423-614-5553.
Or young Slinky in the movie, 423-614-5553.
Or if you just want to be the guy that says our phone number like this, 423-614-5553, you can give us a call right now.
That would be fantastic.
423-614-5553. It's time for the preview review.
I'm ready.
Courtesy of Surf's Up Car Wash.
Keeping Cleveland clean, one car at a time.
That's right. That's what we always say when we say it.
One car at a time.
First up, Getaway.
At a time.
Talking about cars. First up, Getaway, Ethan Hawke, Selena Gomez, and John Voight. About a fella who's got to get behind the wheel and follow the orders of a mysterious man in an attempt to save his kidnapped wife. This one kind of looks like a cross between Enemy of the State and Speed.
I was going to say like Enemy of the State and that Nick Cage movie where he Gone in 60 Seconds.
It's kind of like Speed and what was the Taylor? Was it Taylor Lautner? No.
Eagle Eye.
Eagle Eye. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf.
LaBeouf.
Yeah, it's kind of like Eagle Eye crossed with Speed.
It's sort of like Speed crossed with The Peoples.
It's kind of like The People's on Speed.
It's kind of like Gone in 60 Seconds with Drive Angry. It's starring Will Ferrell.
Sort of like the Jonas Brothers concert film and The People's.
Well, it doesn't get any closer to that. It doesn't get any closer to that. You've nailed it. You've nailed this. This
Clearly.
is definitely the love child of The People's and the Jonas Brothers concert footage.
Ken Dog, what do you think of Getaway?
I like Ethan Hawke. I'm a little unsure about Selena Gomez.
I think Ethan Hawke could play a young you.
All right.
All
think
right,
he's
all
older
right.
than me.
Suddenly he's grading this movie.
Yeah. I don't. The whole unknown man on the phone. It doesn't really play for me because even in the trailer, I was like, well, that's John Voight.
I was like, check your caller ID, man.
Yeah, I was like, that dude is clearly John Voight. If it holds to not getting bogged down in too much of the ransom story,
I would have said bogged down in too much of the Selena Gomez.
that as well. If it holds to all the driving explosions, I'm gonna give this movie a great. Although I think I liked it better when it was Death Race.
Death Race 2000 or Death Race?
Death Race with Jason Statham.
Okay, just Death Race. Not David Carradine's Death Race 2000.
True. Exactly what I just said.
Right.
I agree with you.
Okay.
So I grade it.
Only use your horn only when you have to.
AMC Mike.
Sage advice from the unicorn.
I think I would rather watch Drive Angry again. I'm hating this. It looks awful.
There you go.
It looks, it's been done a gazillion times. It looks like they just pieced together scripts from a bunch of other movies.
Yeah, but if they're all good movies.
What?
Here's the problem with this one. For me, the problem with this is that the trailer looks so familiar.
Yeah.
It actually hurts this movie. This trailer looks like 3 or 4 other movies that we have all seen, and we've seen them already. And so there's nothing feels fresh or exciting in this movie except for Ethan Hawke. And so on one hand, I struggle with the fact that Ethan Hawke typically picks strong material. On the other hand, there is nothing new here in this trailer. My hope is that down the road, when we watch this on Netflix, that we're going to look back and go, this movie was betrayed by terrible marketing. But until then, it's terrible marketing, and I've got to hate it.
Yeah, for me, I feel like this one's waiting to make me sad.
Wow.
I like Ethan Hawke so
Feels
much.
a little more diabolical than I think I got from it.
The movie itself is the antagonist.
Yeah, here's what I was gonna.
A meeting in Hollywood went like this. You know that Rob Alderman.
Oh, yes, I do.
I want to do something that's going to disappoint that guy.
Oi, I think that we should.
He's.
I like how he suddenly became Jewish.
It's Hollywood.
I know, but Hollywood. That was awesome. Listen, that was awesome. I'm for the joke, man. I'm following you all the way.
All right, okay.
His
We should.
His Facebook's always so sunny happy.
He's praying for everyone but the Jews.
We need to bring that guy down a notch.
This is me typing, I'm so sorry.
That's not true because I pray for the Jews. I pray for everybody.
Rob, tell me what you feel about Getaway.
I'm tearing up over here.
Here's the thing is that I actually thought, here's the deal. I'm watching the trailer and I'm thinking, hey,
this is cool. I gotta get
I was like, this is a new movie with Ethan Hawke in it, driving a car really fast. That seems cool. Hey, Selena Gomez, I don't know about you anymore. I don't really know what you're all about, but maybe this will be good. And then suddenly it hits me. This is boring. Everything and I'm like, no, Ethan Hawke doesn't make boring films, but apparently he does, because that's what this thing's gonna be. It doesn't have any character. You gotta make me want to see a film these days.
And it looks like the premise is really stretching it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of got that feel.
Right. He's got to. You're right. I mean, I understand the speed part, like the speed part of feeling like you even could do.
Get on the phone and text 911.
But they're watching him, his every move.
I feel like that's the problem with even like with Speed, right? Part of the problem with Speed is it was not feasible for them to even do the things they were being asked or told to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's how this is. Like, this guy's in a car and you're going to be like, turn left now. Like, no, what if there's another car there and he just gets hit? No right on red. No red. So I give this movie a hate. It's going to disappoint.
Yeah. All right, next up, we're going to go right up to the big one. One Direction, This Is Us.
Go ahead. Follow that rainbow to your dream.
That was the weirdest scream I ever heard.
No, that was teenage girls
Yeah, that was
screaming
teenage
out
girls.
in
It
unison.
went for a really long time. Is that what they do?
Well, I mean,
Do they
it's
scream like that? Is that what's in your futures?
It happens every time we do a live
our
appearance
features.
with every time we do a radio remote. We experience the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's for the same reason.
Yeah, usually they're running away, so we lose.
Niall, Zane, Liam, Harry, and Lewis have had a meteoric rise to fame from their humble hometown beginnings to
Meteoric?
competing on the X Factor. Anyway, this is just some documentary about the boy band One Direction. Let's all just get the hating over, okay? Shall we, Ken Dog?
I hate it.
AMC Mike? Really? There's hesitance?
I hate it for what it is. It's the same thing for me as there is with jobs. Yeah, it's going to sell like $1 jillion worth.
A bajillion.
And this is not what movies are for. This is what VH1 Behind the Music is for later. It's not going to tell these girls anything they don't already know from Tiger Beat magazine, if that's a magazine still. Okay?
It was?
Oh, yeah. But what?
Nothing. I'm just listening.
You had those that you had David Cassidy was on those and all that.
Like
What?
16,
I did it.
Sweet
Don't look at
16
me.
magazines.
It always happens.
I know what he's
Yeah,
talking
but
about.
pretend like you don't know that that exists.
Well, no, but you knew the name of one of the magazines. That's why I was giving you
She
the
was
look.
more.
Oh, yeah,
she
I
was
keep
amazed
that in
that
the-
you knew it.
No, I
Yeah.
keep that in the tank for comedy.
Oh.
Anyway, wink, wink.
Yeah.
They're so dreamy.
He's got so many David Caraway or whatever his name was.
He's like, they're collector
Posters.
magazines.
Yeah, get 'em.
He's just reading the articles.
So yeah, so I just it's nothing. They're just gonna pay to see it. These guys are gonna get another house with another swimming pool. And
Lassiter Brittany just said that if this had been an NSYNC documentary, she'd have seen it.
Right? Yeah, that's
did NSYNC do a movie back then?
Probably, but
No, I don't think it was real
it's
popular.
timing, though.
Yeah.
Is nobody interested?
That's what's killing me. Is that they're making it while they're still children.
Is nobody interested in the fact that Morgan Spurlock is directing this? How did that happen?
Are you serious?
Morgan Spurlock is directing this film.
I don't know who that is.
Yes, you do.
Wow.
Morgan
on.
Spurlock is the one he's the documentarian who did Super Size Me.
Okay.
Where he went out
Oh.
and like ate all the
So that guy's a
And
freaking
then he,
joke too.
he followed that up with.
he had his own show for a while.
Well, yeah, but he also did the follow-up movie was Palm, the grape. The
Yeah.
It's called Palm Presents. Somebody sponsor my movie or something like that.
Isn't it weird? Like this guy is like a weirdo.
And a
You know-
good documentarian.
Yeah, no, it's
He is a
Really?
good he's a
Yeah.
good
I
documentarian.
think it was more like, oh wow, people paid to see that.
You're just
I
mad.
didn't-
You're
I
just
didn't-
mad
Or maybe
because that
he's
dude
got
tried to make you not eat any more quarter pounders.
I never watched that film.
Listen,
Or-
if you want to
or
reach
he-
it to Matthew McConaughey, you got to quit eating quarter pounders. Morgan
And
Spurlock
start
could
doing
show-
meth.
Morgan Spurlock could show you.
Morgan Spurlock could play an old Ken Dog.
I think it's super interesting.
He's
though.
kind of ginger, right?
Morgan Spurlock.
Oh.
He's done all sorts of like after his Super Size Me thing, he went all around the country like finding weird stuff, like the people that have the natural gas coming through their water and light it on fire. And
I hope
He directed Mansome. He directed
Manson, that's right. He did a whole
I was
movie
in that
about
movie.
He directed that Comic-Con movie.
yeah.
The greatest movie ever sold. That was the Palm
Yeah.
Palm
That was
Presents. He did Freakonomics.
Yeah.
Where in the world is Osama bin Laden and Super Size Me?
Yeah.
I mean, I know who he is. I still don't care, and I've never seen.
I just wonder how a dude like that ends up liking One Direction.
He's-
enough
He
to make
doesn't.
He's
He doesn't.
British.
He's got bills to pay, bro.
He's British.
Or
He's got a house.
a young girl, like a daughter or something.
Oh
that
my
he's doing it for.
gosh.
Or
That
he's
could be. That could be.
Or he's British, and we should not question or try to understand. such
Okay.
things.
Anyway, I'm giving it a hate.
I
even
hate
though
it
it's
too.
Morgan Spurlock.
I think it's gonna be okay for what it is.
I'm great.
Oh.
Yeah, I grade it. Niall is totally my favorite.
Is that one
who
of their
you want
names?
to play?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I hope that Zane plays young me in my movie.
He'll sing.
Directed by Morgan Spurlock.
He'll sing Young Guns.
Yeah, he will. He sure will.
Next up, Closed Circuit. This is starring Eric Bana and a bunch of people nobody's ever heard of. This is about a couple of lawyers who were also exes who find themselves put at risk after they join the defense team for an international terrorists trial. AMC Mike, you're up first.
I shouldn't like this. There's not much to this that when I read what it's about, I'm just like, eh. But when I watched the preview, I found myself really interested in it. And I don't know if it's just put together in such a way that it like somehow snuck in and got my attention or what. But and I adore Eric Bana. I think he's
That's how it snuck in.
I don't mean it that way.
It was in his pocket.
Did it?
No, I
know you want it.
You
know you want it.
Okay, yeah. No, I think he is a brilliant actor. Even like in the Hulk movie that he did that was awful.
Yeah, he's good.
Like he was good in it.
Yeah, he was not a bad Hulk.
Yeah. I mean the Hulk was awful.
I liked him in Finding Nemo. I mean, when he played Nemo in Star Trek.
You mean
He was
Nero?
stretch.
It was too much.
It was a stretch, but he was
We
good
were
in Star
almost
Trek.
there. I was bridging the gap. Got a slave slinky.
Felt
show.
like this is going to work, and then it didn't.
No.
Sometimes you dive in,
It's
and
not
then
all- it's
you
not
don't
all
realize
gold
that the
here.
water was murky and it was only a foot deep, and you break your neck.
Oh, it's the Hulk
That's
stomp
right.
when you're going
Sometimes you hurt
downstairs.
this area.
Sometimes it's like Hulk smash.
This is just in this area.
Yeah.
No, but I'm gonna grade it. I'm.
That's surprising.
Yeah, I know it is. but-
Ken Dog, what about you?
It's a pleasant surprise.
You know, anytime that they want to remake a really good Steve Guttenberg film,
No.
I'm
That
for
was
it.
Short Circuit.
oh,
That was a clever joke.
Hooking it up with a little Johnny
Yeah.
Five.
I miss you, Sid Vicious.
Yeah.
So at first I was kind of like, okay, I
Thank you.
don't want to see it because it's not Short Circuit.
I think that should be every movie though.
But then I watched the trailer and it pulled me in. I thought it was
You're like Lee Daniels, the butler. Well, it's not Short Circuit.
right. I think it's cool. I think it's going to explore something that we've been going through here politically in the States with the government spying on us and things like that, and the technology advance. So I think if it does that well, I think it'll be great. I was in the car today.
So was I.
Pulling out of the Chick-fil-A.
I wasn't there.
And Axel says to Rilla, he goes,
Axl Rose?
yeah. He says, the president's watching us. And I was like, I don't know where that came from.
Can I take us on a little segue for just a moment?
Yes.
Has anyone else seen the creepy cross at the drive-through window at the Chick-fil-A?
No. Yeah, the
one that
stick
sits down in
cross?
the corner?
The stick cross.
I will
in
tell you the
corner?
story behind that
It's
cross.
been there since
Wait.
last October.
I
Wait
will
a
tell you
minute.
the story behind
Okay,
that cross
okay, yeah.
after we're not on the air.
Okay. Okay.
Why
We're
is
gonna
it-
have to
is
trust
it a
him. No, we're
secret?
just gonna have to trust him.
No. So I think so he says
I keep waiting for
I,
it to have a Twitter account.
I said, what is that what do you mean by that? And he said, that camera up there on the building. And I was like, why do you think it's the president? Because I mean, I'm
I
not.
love the way you say. Why do you think that's the president?
Yeah. Well,
That's
my-
like Ken Dog does impressions of himself.
Yeah.
And that's what he
Well,
said.
my
Why
mind-
is it done with the president?
I said, I'm
oh
like,
my gosh!
I'm like, what?
I think we
has
could
he
find a
been-
better Ken Dog impersonator.
I have to hurry up and get on the radio show.
What has he been hearing?
Realistic enough.
I have to get Chick-fil-A.
What has he been hearing that makes him think
Yeah.
that
Fox
the
News.
president? Yeah, but we don't watch Fox News. Certainly
when-
not with my kid.
Not when you're home.
Right. Right. My kid's like, are they gone? Let me
They're like-
catch up on some Glenn Beck. I don't know.
So is this a hate or a great?
It's a great.
It's clearly a hate of the NSA.
No, it's a great because I think they're exploring that. And my point is, if somehow it's gotten to my 6-year-old,
Yeah.
then a movie like this, I think it'll do well. So I think it'll be interesting.
Slinky, what are you gonna give it?
I think it's great. You know what? I actually fall exactly where AMC Mike falls. Nothing about this movie should I enjoy. It looks like a courtroom thriller with a little bit of espionage action thrown in, and it's just not my kind of movie.
Yeah, you make it sound horrible.
It looks like it looks like a Jack Ryan
Read
film.
it. If you read the description, it's like meh.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it's a Jack Ryan film, except Eric Bana is incredibly charismatic. And something about it. There's just something I can't put my finger on that makes the trailer for this movie actually look good. And so, just a barely, I'm gonna grade it.
Fair enough.
He's a squeezing.
I'm also going to give it a great, except this one does fall into the kind of the category of movies I like. I do like sort of suspense political thrillers when they're good. I mean, you hate to have any genre. That's like true of any movie, right? You could say, I like action movies when they're good.
Well, yeah,
But what I'm saying is, like,
guess what? I like movies.
Bad movies.
Right,
I like movies
when they're good,
good.
right?
Yeah.
And so you hate to say that, but that's particularly true of
I
political
like
thrillers.
this radio show when it's good.
Like,
Oh, yeah, that's
like
never-
political thrillers are kind of they can get bogged down in the details and not bring enough action, But I like the Pelican Brief, I like the Jack Ryan films, I like all that stuff. So I do like Eric Bana. I think, and the trailer looks good.
Yeah,
like the footage looks good.
the trailer is the trailer is better than this type of movie normally has.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to give that one a grade.
Wow, I feel like our cars are all clean thanks to Surf's Up Car Wash.
You should feel that.
Now
way.
we could drive our shiny new cars down to either of our local movie theaters.
Is that true?
And watch a film.
We're going to be right back where we're going to play 5 questions as Slinky and AMC Mike ask Ken Dog and me about The World's End. And also, we'll be picking the worst Ben Affleck film of all time.
We normally do the greatest. This week, it's the worstest.
We'll be right back. Lights, camera, clear. I'm leaving your mic on, Slinky.
Wake up in the morning and I raise my weary head. I've got an old coat for a pillow, and the earth was last night's bed. I don't know where I'm going, only God knows where I've been. I'm a devil on the run, a six-gun lover, a candle in the wind. Yeah! Brought into this world with this say you're born with sin. Well, at least they gave me something
4, I'm 6 foot deep. Lord, I gotta ask a favor, and I hope you understand.
You're not doing it serious. You're not doing it serious.
I was singing. It was my Ken Dog impression.
Hold on, I can't cut it off before the big, right here.
Okay,
I can't. Hold
hang
on.
on.
Yeah. And we're back. You're listening to Lights, Camera, Cleveland. I'm Rob Alderman. With me, the Slinky. Also with us, AMC Mike. Also with us, the Ken Dog. And it is time for 5 questions. Ken Dog and I went and saw The World's End.
Did you see it together?
We didn't.
Okay.
We did not see it together. I saw it on
it
opening
affects
night.
Who I give what questions to. That's why I asked.
I saw it opening night. Ken Dog saw it the next day.
All right.
Saturday matinee for me.
Oh. I was a Friday night packed house.
No, not even close.
All right.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I was. Mine was a Friday night packed house.
All right, first question. I actually need to kind of direct this a little bit at both of you, so if you guys could just be brief with your answers.
Okay.
Okay, question number 1. Is the packed house necessary for this movie to be funny?
I'll defer that to Ken Dog because I only know the packed house.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I should have just asked it. I'm a dumb host. I'm a dumb host. I'm so dumb.
It wasn't for me. I think possibly it takes familiarity with the trilogy.
The Cornetto trilogy?
Correct. But I thought it was hilarious, and I love movies when it's not packed out, when it's not ridiculous, and so it was nice for me.
Question 2. Good.
Okay. How awesome are the special effects with the robots? Because in the trailer, there's the brief goofiness, and it's very fun looking, and and the glimpse you get of the way they move their arms and they run is very neat.
It looks like old school Doctor Who.
Yeah. But is it over the top where you're just like, ugh, or is it very fun?
They're careful with I thought they were careful with the special effects. They use them where they're gonna be best used.
They don't overdo it?
It's not a film that relies on the special effects really heavy. Which isn't to say there are, just like you see in the trailer, there are people with glowing eyes and glowing mouths and stuff like that. But I didn't think it was a special effects heavy. Did you?
No. Well, I take that back. There was quite a bit of that when you think about it. But I think that speaks to it not being overdone.
Okay.
It just seemed, the special effects that were done were typically glowing eyes and glowing mouths on things that were moving, or like a robot head getting ripped off.
Okay.
Which you also see in the trailer, so I don't feel like that's a spoiler.
No.
Question 3. Cornetto trilogy. Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, yeah, we differ on this
Hot
one.
Fuzz.
We differ on this one greatly.
And The World's End.
Ken Dog and I differ on this. I'll let Ken Dog go first.
For me, it goes from my top down is Shaun of the Dead is my favorite. This movie, very close second, and then Hot Fuzz after that.
I love them all, but this was my favorite of all 3, and I think for a variety of reasons. Part of it was just the subject matter in this. Of all the things that they could spoof, or farce, or whatever it is that these things are, critique, comment on, I thought it was super cool to do that with apocalypse movies / early 90s nostalgia. The whole thing just reeks of fantastic soundtracks and wishing.
But they all do.
Yeah, they do, but this one, in particular, these people are our age. So, specifically, they're our age right now.
Right.
Making these movies. So they're
27.
So, right. So they're looking back at a time that I'm nostalgic about. So it just did it for me, So this one was my favorite. And then my second favorite would be Hot Fuzz, and my third favorite would be Shaun of the Dead.
Question.
Which I know that's not actually... I guess that's not the hip thing. Everybody wants to just say Shaun of the Dead, but
yeah, that's not the hip.
Carrie, AMC Mike and I actually think that our preference is Hot Fuzz over Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, I thought Hot Fuzz was brilliant. I thought Shaun of the Dead was brilliant.
Question 4.
How drunk do they end up? If they're hopping from pub to pub, and how ridiculous does it make it? In a good way. I mean ridiculous in a fun way.
They're wasted.
Yeah, they get ripped.
I mean, they get wasted. They get wasted, and it's interesting because it's a mix of and they do it in a pretty realistic way. The wastedness to where
they're not all the same kind of wasted.
They're not all the same kind of wasted, but it is affecting all of them. They're all getting wasted in their way.
Question 5. Last one. My question is this. What is the threat? What is bringing the world to an end? Unless this is some sort of big spoiler question. Because the commercials are so vague about what the threat is.
It is the biggest of the spoilers.
Okay.
Well, all right.
And so there would be no way to talk about that without ruining it. But it's awesome.
But it makes me want to see it more.
Yeah,
so
it is awesome. I thought it. What about you? Did you think? I mean,
I thought it was great, and like Rob said, we can't really talk about that. But for me, it went a complete opposite.
Yes.
Not necessarily opposite, but it went in a completely unexpected direction.
Yeah.
Right at the climax of the movie, my mind was blown, and I was
Me
like,
too.
You were like.
Yeah, and so for me, that made the movie even better.
It does a really
clever
clever job.
I appreciated it.
It does a clever job of leading you down this trail because especially if you're familiar with their films, you understand the critique that's going on there, and so it's leading you down a certain trail, and you're like, oh yeah, I get it. They're spoofing this, and they're farcing this, they're lampooning it, and then all of a sudden, it's something else, and you've already thought of something
else
Like
entirely.
you've already done that. Like you've already been clever. You've already gone, oh, I get it. These guys are clever, so they're leading me here. So it's not this, it's this, and it's neither. It's none of those things. Like they totally get you. So I thought it was fantastic.
Well, there you go.
Go see it.
5 questions.
5 questions.
5 questions.
I like that. That was good.
Thanks.
Okay, now normally
this is where we do the greatest.
Yeah, this is final segment time. We got 5 minutes.
But tonight we're not going to do the greatest. We're going to do the worstest.
Now, part of this was because it was so easy to say what the greatest was. With all the Ben Affleck news and us around these parts talking and sharing articles and twittering and tweeting and all of these things about the Affleck.
There was never any question that his greatest role was Clerks 2. What?
We all know Argo. Argo, the one. Let's go with the one that won the Oscar for Best Film.
Right.
Let's go with that. Let's go with that movie.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I guess we're gonna have to agree to disagree.
Did you see Argo?
No, but I saw Armageddon.
You're like, but I did see The Peoples. I didn't see Argo, but I did see The Peoples.
I saw him sing John Denver.
Yeah,
in Armageddon.
Listen, and nobody's saying Armageddon wasn't awesome. I'm just saying I think that universally we can all agree on Argo. But what we haven't talked about is the fact that Affleck has a lot of stinkers. There's a reason for those 12,000 petition names.
But here's what we didn't realize. We didn't realize that when we pulled up his filmography, that not only does he have a lot of stinkers, he's just got a lot of movies.
This dude has made... When I copied and pasted this thing into a Word document, it gave me 3 pages. 3 stinking Word document pages of Ben Affleck films. Too much, America.
It's like 30 films this guy has made.
So when we talk about the fact that he got into the business at a young age, that's really true. I mean, this dude was making movies, and I, the first time I remember him is in Mallrats.
Right.
That would be like my first Ben Affleck appearance.
It's a schooner.
But we wanted to talk about the movies that stunk, so we started to say, the purpose of the segment is Slinky asked me would I put together a prep for this, and we were going to do the worst film that Ben Affleck has ever made. And then we found out that none of us have seen the films
that were so bad
that everybody says are bad. So, like Geely that everybody talks about, no one here has seen Geely.
Everybody says Jersey Girl is awful. None of us have seen it.
All we know is good Affleck, with maybe the exception of Pearl Harbor. And Daredevil, if you think he was the problem with that movie.
Right.
So as we're closing out, like it's tough to pick the worst because apparently he
has made several.
Yeah, he telegraphs this really, really well. Here's the deal.
Can I make a interesting, just a quick observation? Is that he made a movie called Hollywoodland, and in that movie he played George Reeves, who was the actor that originated the role of Superman.
Interesting.
So now he's played Superman and Batman.
I think it was interesting that he played.
Mean something.
I'm sure. It
I thought it was interesting that he played Joseph, the voice of King Joseph, in the cartoon Joseph, King of Dreams. Bible. That's Bible Affleck.
I always forget that he was in Dazed and Confused.
I don't even. You know what? He was in Glory Days. DAZE.
He was like an extra in Field of Dreams. He was like
Right.
He was like shortstop
Best-
number 4.
Best movie he's been in.
Kid in Crowd.
Was that it? It was
I don't
Kid-
know.
yeah.
I'll tell you what is funny. I took just the list of filmography, and it added to my list for some reason his Saturday Night Live performance as Donnie Bartolotti, where he does the thick accented. Oh my God, Johnny, we're gonna drink so much beer. That guy, that Affleck, which is kind of like all of Affleck. But like, look at this. He had a film called Daddy and Them. We never even heard of that. It might be way worse than Geely. It sounds worse. Daddy and Them. Listen, if you came to me right now and you said, listen, we got 2 choices of films for you. Geely, that you've heard is horrible, or Daddy and Them. I would go with Geely.
I'd go with Daddy and Them.
You would.
Did any of you see Changing Lanes?
No. What about Forces of Nature?
No.
No. Paycheck?
I did not see
I haven't seen
Jersey
Paycheck
Girl?
in a
How about
while.
Extract? He played Dean in Extract. And what's
Extract's
funny?
good.
That was in 2009 when he was already super famous.
What about
He got done in State of Play and went right into the blockbuster Extract.
what about Surviving Christmas?
I did see Surviving Christmas.
And
You know what? I didn't hate Surviving Christmas. A lot of people hated it. Like a lot of people hated Reindeer Games.
right.
I didn't hate Reindeer Games.
Reindeer Games his Jack Ryan? No, that's Some of All Fears.
Some of All Fears is
Is
where
when
he
he
took
played Jack
over for
Ryan.
Harrison Ford.
Yeah, that was successful.
Daddy and Them. I'm going to go with Daddy and Them. He was in a film called 200 Cigarettes in 1999 as bartender. Now,
He's just trying to get work at that point.
we differed on Dogma. You did not like his performance in Dogma.
But
I
to
thought
be
he was
fair,
good.
I also did not care for Dogma.
Dogma's so good.
I liked Dogma.
He's
but-
in Clerks too.
Did anyone see Office Killer? The 1997 blockbuster Office Killer. He played Man in Office, and then in parentheses, scenes deleted.
Oh. Ouch.
Can we agree that could be the worst Ben Affleck performance of all?
Can somebody find us that footage?
Office
I know I
Killer.
can't.
Man in Office.
That's-
scenes deleted.
It's on disc 2 of
Listen,
the extended
apparently,
Blu-ray edition.
listen. Apparently, he did Mallrats in '95, and then he had a pretty hard time until he got to Good Will Hunting. Well, no, I mean he had Chasing Amy in there,
Yeah.
which was good. No, I think I'm going to go with Office Killer, the
Scenes
1997 scenes deleted
Yeah, I
as the
think we could
worst.
I think that's the worstest.
Yeah.
So
Is that
there
what you think?
I agree. I think we all agree.
Well, until
So-
next
Hey,
time.
hey, real quick, let me
This
just
is important.
shout out to Mr. V and Miss P for listening to us tonight.
Hey,
They're
Mr.
back.
Yeah, good having
I'm
you
glad
back.
they're back.
Till next time, I'm the Hollywood Slinky and I love movies.
I'm AMC Mike and I love movies.
I'm the Ken Dog and I love movies.
I'm Rob and I love movies.
Let's
all love movies together.
How many times can I push it aside? Is it time I befriended all the ghosts of all the things that haunt me most? So they leave me alone, move on with my life. Be certain the steps are left and right don't fight the direction of upright. I'd rather forget